In lightweight action Saturday night, 8-3 Toronto native Mark Bocheck hopes to rebound from his loss to Jim Miller at UFC 111 as he takes on 12-6 Dustin Hazlett, who is dropping down to 155 pounds for this fight after losing his last two fights to Paul Daly and Rick Story at welterweight. Ontario-based fighter Jesse Water-Bongfeld will make his UFC debut Saturday, getting the call after an injury sustained to Jason McDonald. The 21-6 native of Kenora will square off with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Rafael Natal, who enters with a record of 12-3, making his UFC debut this past September, where he dropped a unanimous decision to Rich Atenito. In welterweight action at UFC 124, you will see 5-1 Matt Riddle serve as the welcoming committee for another Canadian fighter in 10-4 Sean Pearson, who is taking the spot of an injured Anthony Waldberger. Riddle last fought in August, earning a TKO victory over DeMarcus Johnson, while Pearson rides a 5-fight win streak entering the promotion that dates back to July of 2007. The 12-4 Dan Miller, who is fighting on the same card as his older brother Jim, will be taking on Joe Dirksen, who returns to the octagon for his 7th fight in the organization, as the well-traveled El Dirte brings with him a record of 46-13. Miller has lost 3 of his last 4, with his last fight earning him a submission victory over John Salter. Both middleweights are in a must-win situation. 12-4 Jiu-Jitsu wizard Ricardo Almeida will be taking on TJ Grant, the pride of Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia, who comes in with a record of 16-4 in this welterweight contest. Grant holds victories over Kevin Burns and Julio Paulino inside the UFC, while Almeida had a 3-fight win streak snapped at UFC 117 at the hands of Matt Hughes. UFC 124 is rounded out with 155-pound action as undefeated John McDessie of Laval, Quebec will make his octagon debut against the 9-1 Pat Awesomely Awesome Audenwood. Audenwood didn't look quite too awesome at UFC 119 as the Team Bomb Squad member was submitted by Thiago Tavares. McDessie has fought twice in 2010 with wins over Lindsey Hawks and Bendy Casimir. On the undercard of the event, 6 Canadians will look to impress their native crowd with strong performances, including 3 men making their UFC debut.
Pimp Daddy Sean Pearson!
After more than a decade in the sport, Toronto's Sean Pearson will finally step into the world-famous octagon when he takes on former New York State wrestling champion Matt Riddle in a welterweight contest. No longer known as the Pimp, a more serious and refocused Pearson has waited a long time for this opportunity. Riding a 5-fight winning streak, Pearson recently spent time training with UFC welterweight king Georges St-Pierre in preparation for his debut. All 10 of the Tap Star pupil's wins have been finishes, which has established him as a bona fide crowd pleaser.
It's been 14 years for me, since I watched UFC and told everybody I wanted to fight there, and then 11 years fighting. But, good things come to those that wait, and I'm glad I was patient and stuck with this sport. I love it, and now it's my chance to try and perform.
Sean's a great athlete, I think he could have been one of the greats in the UFC. I think he still has a shot at being one of the greats. He's a guy with a family, a wife, a full-time job. He doesn't have the luxury of training full-time, but if he did, man, you'd be hearing his name everywhere.
Former TKO 170-pound champion Jesse Water-Bongfeld enters the UFC with 12 wins in his past 13 fights, including victories over the debuting Sean Pearson and veteran TJ Grant. Anchored in Kenora, Ontario, Bongfeld is a versatile competitor with 9 submission wins and 12 by TKO. The Canadian Martial Arts Center product steps in for the injured Jason McDonald to take on dangerous Brazilian Rafael Natal. In other action, Halifax, Nova Scotia-based fighter TJ Grant faces one of the toughest challenges of his career when he takes on third-degree Renzo Gracie black belt Ricardo Almeida. Grant has traveled the globe looking to absorb knowledge from top trainers and sparring partners, which has included a stop at Nova União in Brazil to train alongside Marlon Sandro, Hani Torres, and Talis Ladies. A win for the durable 26-year-old Canadian could put the rest of the division on notice, while a loss could jeopardize his UFC career. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and 59-fight veteran Joe Dirksen looks to rebound from a first-round submission loss to CB Dollaway at UFC 119 when he takes on fellow Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Dan Miller. El Dirte is one of the country's most experienced fighters, with experience competing for numerous promotions around the world. The Manitoba native has claimed numerous notable victims throughout his 11-year career, including Tom Lawler, Patrick Cote, Brian Foster, Chris Lieben, Ed Herman, and Dennis Kang.
John the Bull McDessie!
The youngest Canadian on the undercard is unbeaten Zahabi MMA student John McDessie. The 25-year-old prospect will be squaring off against Team Bomb Squad member Pat Audenwood. McDessie, who has emphatically finished all but one of his opponents, possesses a fan-friendly stand-up style. In his last fight, the Bull garnered a unanimous decision over M1 and WEC veteran Bendy Casimir. He hopes this wave of momentum will carry into his first UFC appearance.
I'm very speechless.
I feel very honored and blessed, and I just want to perform and represent Canadian fighters. You know what I mean? I'm blessed with great guys, amazing training partners. You know, Georges St-Pierre, you got Dennis Kang. You know, I was always inspired by Korkop. You know, he was one of my favorite fighters to watch. It's a style of preference, you know. Some guys would want to take it to the ground. Some guys would want to keep it standing. For my style, I believe that you know I want to make it exciting for the fight, for the fans, and my goal is to go there and fight my heart out and show Canadian fighters in the UFC why I'm supposed to be in the UFC.
He's very new to the sport of MMA. He's only been with us for about 3 years. So, you know, 3 years of MMA is not a long time. But, you know, when Joe Silva gives the call, we like to say yes. We're very honored to be part of the show. And it's a great opportunity for Makdessi. And I really think he's going to do well. I really think he's going to shine. And I really think you're going to see something special.
In the last remaining undercard tilt, Extreme Couture and American top team standout Mark Bochek, one of the country's elite competitors, is targeting his 5th UFC win. The 29-year-old Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt is set to lock horns with slick submission specialist Dustin Hazlett in what is sure to be an entertaining showcase of high-level grappling. Hazlett is competing at lightweight for the first time in his career, while Bochek looks to rebound from a hard-fought decision loss to Jim Miller. The winner of this bout moves up the ranks in the very deep 155-pound division. John, the undercard featuring a ton of Canadian content, specifically Sean Pearson, a longtime fighter from the province of Ontario, finally getting to the big stage here as he'll be taking on Matt Riddle.
Yeah, lots of people say so many good things about Sean Pearson. I had a chance, like you said before, to talk to Firas Zahabi, and he believes that this guy can make a huge impact in the UFC's welterweight division. He has the abilities, he has the athletic background, and he has the drive. The guy has quit his job, he has a family to focus on, and he wants to make a huge statement to the UFC's welterweight division, and kudos to Sean Pearson.
And another replacement on this card, John Makdessi, who you got a chance to spend some time with over the weekend in Montreal. He's going to be in action, making his Octagon debut as well this weekend.
Yeah, this is a young guy, undefeated, explosive kickboxing, kind of reminiscent of Kung Lee. If nothing else, this kid is very, very entertaining, a guy to watch, and I'm sure you're going to see big things from him, as well as TJ Grant taking on Ricardo Almeida, a very, very difficult task for TJ Grant, and if he gets a win over the Jiu-Jitsu black belt, again, the world of the welterweight division can open up, and maybe a title shot sooner rather than later.
From top to bottom, a huge card for Canadians this Saturday night at UFC 124. With all due respect to my lovely co-host John Ramdeen, the show just got much more attractive here. Candice Kay from Extreme Couture Toronto joining us. Huge weekend for fight fans with UFC 124, but also a big event coming up this Sunday at Extreme Couture Toronto.
That's right. We have a huge event going on. It's going to be starting early. All the boys are still going to be in Montreal, but this is now for the women. And the most exciting part about it is that we're going to be showcasing bringing MMA to women. We're softening the image a little bit, boys. I know we're going to be taking over a little bit. Yeah, we are. We're coming. Be careful. I have over 200 women coming in here. We have a lot of media attention, but a lot of corporate sponsors that are going to be giving these women a bunch of stuff, making them feel like they're the best people on the planet because they deserve to feel that way. And when they walk in the door, they'll be giving stuff. We have Jacked Apparel is going to be giving them a bunch of things. We have the Fight Network coming to do some coverage on that as well. And a lot of other magazines, Inside Fitness, and we have trainers coming in here who are going to be showing women MMA style fighting, but how to do it for fun. So we're taking a little bit of a different approach here, and we're just showcasing that, and it's going to be the best day of these women's lives.
I've always argued there's too many guys involved in mixed martial arts. We need more women. Now this event, though, it is open, though, to both sexes.
The men can come, they can watch, but no, this is about the women. This is really about showing what we can do with MMA and empowering them. And this gym will be a lot more sexy now that I'm bringing over 200 women in it. And I got over 75 fitness models alone in this thing, so it's gonna be fun.
So there you go, women, you can come participate, and men, you can just show up and watch. And we're gonna be watching UFC 124 this coming Saturday, and then we'll be back Sunday here at Extreme Couture Toronto. So on behalf of John Ramdeen, Candice Kay, everyone here at Extreme Couture Toronto and the Fight Network, I'm John Pollock. Enjoy the fights this week.